Are you new to React Native and feeling a bit lost with async and await in your database operations? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into how to effectively use async and await with react-native-sqlite-storage. I totally get it. Starting with React Native can be overwhelming, especially when you're trying to manage data across different screens. Many developers face similar challenges when working with databases. Let's take a look at your specific situation. You mentioned that you're trying to fetch users from your database using async and await, but it seems like the execution isn't pausing as expected. Sound familiar? Let's break this down together. So, what's happening here? When using async and await, the code should pause until the promise is resolved. If you're seeing all your console logs execute before the data is fetched, there might be an issue with how the promises are being handled. And stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to properly implement async and await in your React Native app, plus a bonus tip to enhance your coding skills. To ensure that the async await functionality works correctly, the user should first check that the database connection is established before executing any queries. This can be done by adding a check in the getAllUsers method. Next, the user should ensure that the database setup is completed before any queries are executed. This means calling the setupDatabase method after the database connection is established. Additionally, the user should verify that the fetchUsers method in the app component is correctly awaiting the result from user store. This ensures that the application waits for the data before proceeding. Finally, the user can add error handling to the async functions to catch any issues that may arise during database operations. This will help in debugging if something goes wrong. Fun fact, did you know that the first version of SQLite was released in 2000? It's come a long way since then, making it easier for developers to manage data in mobile apps. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach provided by another user involves creating a database class that simplifies SQL execution. They suggest using a promise-based method to handle SQL commands, allowing for cleaner async await usage. To use this approach, simply import the database class and execute SQL commands with await. This method ensures that your code waits for the database response before proceeding. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests using the Open Database function from react-native-sqlite-storage. They recommend initializing the database with a promise and using the then method to handle transactions. This approach allows for cleaner code without the need for extensive async await syntax. The user notes that while async await can be used, the then method is often cleaner. They also clarify that this method differs from the expo-sqlite package, where Open Database does not return a promise. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative solution, provided by another user, suggests enabling promises in the react-native-sqlite-storage library. They recommend adding 2 lines of code to your database setup. Here's a pro tip. Always log the state of your database connection and the results of your queries. This will help you debug any issues that arise during development. And there you have it. With these tips, you should be able to effectively use async and await in your React Native app. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more coding tips and tricks.